Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 1:35 a.m. on this beautiful 16 degrees. Oh my gosh. I can remember the days that it was 85, 70 degrees warmer than it is now. Isn't that crazy to think that? On this beautiful 16 degree Thursday evening going into Friday. It's clear outside tonight, which makes it even colder feeling, I guess. It's not windy at all. We haven't really had a windy winter so far, and we definitely haven't had very much snow. We had a little bit the other day, but just kind of like a dusting. I was talking about that. Was that yesterday that we had that? I think it was yesterday, because there's still a little bit you can see on the side of the road some places. Anyway, I had just started my vlog, and as soon as I started it, the battery started flashing, and I was like, are you kidding me? So that means I only have the one battery with me that I just put in there. So I brought this is my vlogging bag now. My little Coach vlogging bag that I bring with me. I was showing Alex, I said, it's perfect because my camera fits right in here. And then I said, then I have a place for a sody pop, which is actually a LaCroix limoncello. And he goes, a sody pop? And I go, yeah. It's perfect for my sody pop. It fits right in there. I said, I can even fit two in there if I want. So I'm gonna open my sody pop now. But anyway. Who calls it sody pop? Nobody. Anyway, oh, that smells so good. I can smell the lemon from here. Delicious. Isn't that what people do when they like open a beer? They go. Except I'm doing it with LaCroix limoncello. The sober life. Anyway, how are you guys doing this evening? Are you having a good evening? I'm having a good evening. So when I get done vlogging, I don't know how long I'm gonna vlog. I wasn't gonna vlog for 3 hours anyway tonight, so I guess it kind of worked out for the best, huh? But anyway, when I get done vlogging, I'm already kind of out, like where I usually vlog, so I'm gonna kind of do a circle, loop back, come back around this way, and then we'll see how long that takes me. But anyway, I'm gonna listen to my book because I am on the 18th Janet DeLeon Misfortune. Well, I'm on the 18th Misfortune book by Janet DeLeon called Gators and Garters. It starts off talking about Ida Bell's, well, I don't want to say in case you're like reading the book. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it, and I can't believe that I am coming to the end of reading all the books. And so yeah, I should be done with that by this weekend. Let's see, Thursday. It usually takes me 2 or 3 days to read a Misfortune book or listen to one. So if I listen to it the way that I've been listening to everything else, here's my lip gloss. Which last night I lost in the side of the car, I thought, but it was actually down here on the side of the chair. Then I should have it done by Saturday or Sunday. And then I can maybe get, which will be my 14th book for the month, and then I can maybe get one more book in, maybe something shorter, not short, but like the same. Usually the Misfortune books are like 7.5 hours. This one's like almost, it was like 9 hours and 40 minutes, I think, so it's almost 10 hours, 9 hours and 40 minutes, but anyway, so maybe I can get one more book in that's like 7 to 8 hours and finish that, and that would be 15 books that I would finish by the end of January. I do not have time now to finish Devil's Knot about the West Memphis 3. And we're not going to be having our book club. We were texting, Mel and I were texting about that tonight because she was like, we need to figure out a time for our book club. Which we were going to try to put it off. Like, we're not going to obviously do it this upcoming Sunday. I don't have the book done, and I know she's still working on it, and a lot of people have said they haven't even started it, because we said we were going to push the book club past, like, a date. So we'll probably do it like the first or the second week of February, because this month we did it like the third week of February. So we didn't want to turn around and have the live streams like back to back. Or the third week of February. Third week of January, we did the live stream this month, because I had some stuff going on. Mel had some stuff going on with work. She had to work some weekends, and I didn't want her to have to, well, she asked, she's like, do you care if we postpone it? And I was like, no, girl, like, I mean, she had to work, right? So, it just is what it is, and I wanted her to be able to enjoy her days off. So, not that she doesn't enjoy the book club, because she does, but it's like, you know, she deserves to have a day where she's just, you know, relaxing and stuff. And crocheting and all those things that she loves to do. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so we were going to push it forward in February, so I don't know when we're going to do that. But I do think that will be the first book that I read in February. So, yeah. So I'm excited about that. Although Mel is referring to it as... I hope she doesn't get mad that I say this. She's referred to it as it's called The Devil's Knot. She's referred to it as the Devil's Headache, because she said it just keeps on going and going and going. She said she was going to force herself to finish it tonight. She's like, I'm going to get through this tonight. She said it's good. She said it just keeps on going and going and going and going. So she called it the Devil's Headache. The Devil's Headache. The Devil's Headache. Oh my God, I have to tell you what is so funny. So, well, not funny, but it was cool. What was I gonna say? Oh, so I put on my Instagram story the February book that we picked, which is called Hell in the Heartland. And I tagged the author and the publishing company. And the author was so nice. She reached out to me and she was like, thank you so much for picking the book. And then she like put something about it on social media. It just was really, really nice. I was like, that's really cool. So anyway, that's exciting. And then I'm super excited to announce the February book for Peter's Book Club. And I've been working with the author and the publisher on that, which is really exciting. Then I had a movie company reach out to me today to offer me a part in a movie. No, I'm joking, I wish. They said, come on out to Hollywood, we're gonna make you a star. And I said, okay, I'm on my way. No, they didn't say that. But they wanted to see if I would be interested in maybe like, I think like, if I understand it correctly, getting the movie early before it's released. And I was super excited because it was something that I wanted to see anyway. So I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. So anyway, that was cool. And then, yeah, it was just kind of like stuff, fun little stuff like that kept on happening today. It was just a good day. Me and the dogs hung out. And, it was so cold outside. Like, they don't like to go out for very long. Boo Radley likes to be out cold, like in the outside longer than Tucker does, but Tucker doesn't like to be outside for like a really long period of time. He'll go outside for a little bit and Boo Radley will follow him around. I don't know, I guess it just depends on the day. There have been some days in the cold that they'll just walk around and walk around and walk around, but today wasn't one of them. They didn't want to really be outside for that long today. But there was a day last week, I think I talked about it on here, when they were like wanting to be outside like for long periods of time. So anyway, little cutie, my cutie patootie dogs, so sweet. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier and she got me puppies and she was asking about Boo and Tucker being litter mates. And I texted her a picture of when we first got them because they slept with their heads like overlapping each other, and they still do that sometimes. And it was really sad because Alex and I were talking about them being litter mates and how like a lot of litter mates don't get along. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but like a lot of litter mates have to be separated and they can't be like raised together because they're super territorial and competitive. Did you know this about litter mates? I did not know this. I just thought because they were born together, they just got along so well. I didn't realize that it's either like one or the other. They either usually get along very, very well, like Boo and Tucker are like inseparable. My friend was asking me, she was like, do they ever cry if you separate them? And I said, yeah. I said I had to take Tucker to the vet, and Boo Radley was like really upset about it. And And then when I brought Tucker back, Tucker like ran right down to the basement. And when I took Boo to the vet the last time, the same thing. He runs right down to the basement to get to check on each other. And if Boo Radley, because Boo Radley will cry a lot, stuff like that. Tucker is like right by his side, like, is he okay? Checking on him and stuff. It's very, very sweet. Alex read some article. I swear to God, if this ever happens, I will lose my mind. But Alex read an article that said that there have been stories of litter mates that have been together their entire life, and then like two of them, you know, like that are raised together, like two brothers or a brother and a sister, or two sisters, and that they've died on the same day. Isn't that so sad? I just can't even imagine. Anyway, they love each other so much. It's interesting when, you know, there's a lot of people out there that like don't believe that, you know, dogs or animals have souls or personalities and whatever. And then you see Boo and Tucker, and they were like this with Pee-Pee too. I mean, Pee-Pee was a part of this. You see them interact, and they're like Boo Radley will sit there for like, I mean, if we let him sit there for an hour and do it, he would do it. While Tucker is playing with a toy, Boo Radley will sit there and lick Tucker's back. And the vet told us that it was a way of Boo Radley showing Tucker compassion. That's what like a lot of dogs do. To show compassion to their brother or sister or whatever at home, you know? And I just think that that's the sweetest thing in the entire world. I love that. They're very, very sweet to each other. The only thing they ever fight about is, they don't even fight over food. Like, Tucker, tonight it was funny because Alex had, we did not eat healthy tonight. I had Burger King and Alex had pizza and fries. He made like a frozen pizza and then he had fries that I brought him from Burger King. And he had it sitting right there. And like Boo and Tucker do not beg. And they've never been like, they don't like human food. When I took Tucker to the vet the last time, she was trying to give him some peanut butter and he wouldn't eat the peanut butter. Like they don't like human food at all. And because we've always fed them dog food and dog treats. And she was like, that's good, you know, it's fine, whatever, you know. I don't judge people that feed their dogs dog treats. Like, that's like Alex's thing. He was always been like, we're not going to feed them human food. When Pee-Pee passed away, I kind of was like, I didn't really care anymore. Like, I'm not going to keep them on a constant diet of human food, but like every once in a while to throw them, you know, like, I don't know, a cracker or, you know, a vegetable or something like that, as long as it's safe for them. Like, I'm totally fine with that. But they don't know what to do with it. Like, around that time, when Pee-Pee wasn't eating, I was like frantic. I think I've shared this on here before. And I went and I got like a cheeseburger and fries, and I cut it all up for Pee-Pee. And he literally, I mean, he wouldn't eat anything, and he just turned his nose to it. And I stood in the kitchen, and Boo and Tucker were right there. And so I just kind of threw them some fries. Tucker ate his fries right up. Boo Radley had this long fry that was like this. I mean, it was like really long. It was like this long. And it was like hard, you know, when I gave it to him. And I remember it was kind of the sweetest thing because he took it upstairs to the bed and he sat like right next to Pee-Pee, almost like trying to kind of give it to Pee-Pee. And Pee-Pee saw it, and you could see that Pee-Pee kind of wanted it, but like he didn't want it at the same time. And Boo Radley just sat there, and by then it was so soggy because he had licked on it and carried it around the house and everything, and it just kind of hung out of his mouth. Poor guy. He didn't know what to do with it. So we don't really feed them human food. Sometimes we do. Like that night I just was like, here, enjoy it, you know? I think they can have a little snack every once in a while. Now, I would take Pee-Pee through Starbucks sometimes and get him pup cups of like the whipped cream. Did you guys know that Starbucks does that? If you didn't know that, you can go through Starbucks and ask for a pup cup, and they'll give you a little cup that's like a taster cup that's like this big. I'm like going like this and you can't see. It's like this big. Like it's backward to see. And then they just fill it with the whipped cream that they put on top of the coffee drinks. And the dogs just like sit there and lick it out of the cup. Pee-Pee loved it. In fact, one of the first times that Alex and I were together with Pee-Pee. It's like one of my first pictures of him. When we were going through Starbucks, Alex had asked him for a pup cup, and so we did, and it's like one of the first pictures of Pee-Pee that I ever had. And I think Tucker would love it. Have I ever done it with Boo and Tucker before? I don't know if I have taken them through Starbucks with pup cups. I don't think Boo Radley would know what to do with it. I think Boo Radley would just kind of like, okay, like he would just look at it, like, what am I supposed to do? He doesn't understand a lot like that. He doesn't understand toys. Like, I'll give him a treat, and like Tucker, like, I'll hand Tucker his treat. We give them those, what are they called? I don't know. They're like, they're supposed to be kitchen cut. Look, they're like, some of them look like chicken strips. Some of them look like little steaks. Some of them look like little hamburgers. Do you know what I'm talking about? They come in like a blue bag. It has like a little cartoon dog on it. Anyway, Tucker, I'll hand Tucker his treat first. And before I've even handed Boo Radley, and they're pretty big treats, before I've even handed Boo Radley his treat, this is what I was going to say, the only thing they argue on. They don't argue on food. Like, Boo Radley cannot finish his plate, because sometimes he doesn't finish his dinner. And Tucker will go down there and smell it, but he won't, like, he won't eat off of Boo Radley's plate unless we bring it up and put it on his plate. But sometimes, like, I'll give Tucker his treat and he'll eat it before I've even given Boo Radley his treat. So then Boo Radley, if the treat is too big, he doesn't really know what to do with it. So I sometimes, like, cut it up into pieces and give it to him, and then he sits there and he eats it. With Beggin' strips, if you know what that is, I think Beggin' strips is they look like little, like, bacons. With Beggin' strips, Boo Radley will sit there and he'll flip it with his nose in the air. He, like, plays with these, he'll do it with a lot of treats. He'll sit there for like a good half an hour and play with the treat before he eats it. Do your dogs do that? I don't think Boo Radley really understands it. I don't think he gets it. It's kind of really sweet though. But anyway, so Boo Radley was sitting on the ottoman tonight, and Alex was like done eating. And I started talking about this, but I don't think I finished it. Did I? And on the plate was like, because Alex was watching Schitt's Creek and I was watching Salt Lake City, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City on my iPad while I was eating, because I was sitting on the couch with like the TV tray thing. It's not really a TV tray, it's like a desk I got at Walmart, but it folds up like a TV tray, so we just call it TV tray. My grandma used to have those metal TV trays back in the day that had like flowers and stuff on them. There was like a container and everything, you just like slide them on there. It was like 4 TV trays. Do you remember that? And at my grandma's house, we would sit like on the couch with a TV tray in front of us where we put our meals. I don't know why that cracks me up. I think my grandma, my dad's mom had TV. This is my mom's mom, but I think that I was talking about that had the TV trays. But I feel like my dad's mom had TV trays too. I feel like a lot of people had TV trays back in the day. Does nobody use TV trays anymore? And then some people would use them as like tables next to their couches and stuff. When you go to somebody's house, they'd have a table, or they'd have a TV tray that would have like an ashtray and magazines on it and stuff like that. Not my grandma's house. My grandma had this ashtray stand that was like 3 feet in the air, and then it had like a glass ashtray that fit into it that you could take out and empty. And it was like, it would sit next to, so you could move it wherever you were sitting. And it was, that cracks me up to think back that, you know, she had that thing in her house. But anyway, so tonight, Boo Radley was just like laying there so sweet. He was like this with his little head on his, looking at Alex while Alex was watching TV. And, the tray of pizza and fries were like right there. And you know, like you would think like a lot of dogs would like want to eat it, but like Boo Radley didn't even act like he could be bothered by it. He was just like, okay, well, it is what it is, I guess. He didn't. I noticed that he got up and he kind of smelled it for a second at the end, like before I left. But then he just laid back down. They're good with that. They don't ever beg. Pee-Pee begged. Pee-Pee was a beggar. Which was funny because we never fed him human food hardly ever. But he was a little beggar. If table scraps ever fell like on the floor or anything like that, he would, you know, eat them. This car behind me, they're like lights, are super bright. But anyway, so I hung out with the dogs today, and let's see, what did I do? I always have to like think back on what time it is. If I could turn back time, if I could pull over so you could get out of my rear view mirror, Mr. Minivan with your bright lights. Okay, I got up. Oh, you know what? I had to move my car today because I had to park in the driveway because of the trash guys. So the trash guys can't get down our street if I'm parked in the street. So I had to move my car today when Alex left, and I went back to bed and I snoozed my alarm way too late when it went off. Uh-oh. So I slept real late. We won't talk about it. Real late. So I got up and started uploading my vlog and did a bunch of stuff. I stayed up too late last night too because I finished Saint X last night, which I'll talk about in a second, by Alexis Shaken. It was my I think her name was Shaken. It was my January book for Peter's Book Club. I finished that, and then I started the Janet DeLeon book. But honestly, I was so tired that I only listened to like 20 minutes of the Misfortune book, the Janet DeLeon book, before I went home. I was like, I am tired. I need to go home and go to bed. So I listened to that, finished that. So I got up today and, what did I do? Why does this thing seem like it's coming off or coming apart or something? It's so weird. Why can't I think about what I did? I'm getting distracted tonight, which is so weird. If I could turn... This thing is like coming apart or something. I don't even get it. Anyway, after I got stuff settled around the house, I went and it was like after 5 o'clock. Like between 5 and 5:30, almost 5:30 I think, when I left. Was it? To go get Starbucks, and then I did a review in the parking lot of Starbucks, and then I did this Mountain Dew Major Melon, which was really good. I did this Fruity Pebbles candy bar, which was really good, and then I did, listen to me, I reviewed Mountain Dew Major Melon. It tasted just like a watermelon Jolly Rancher, but not like real like tart and sour. I don't like that. I don't love Jolly Ranchers. Alex, oh my God, he loves Jolly Ranchers. He loves these one Jolly Rancher things that are kind of soft, and then like they're hard, like soft hard on the outside, you know, and then the inside it's like smooth or soft. Do you know what I'm talking about? He loves those. I used to get those for him all the time at the gas station. Those, I used to pick Alex up candy all the time. Alex loves candy. The thing is that's so funny is like he can make a bag of like Sour Patch Kids or Skittles. He loves Skittles. And all that kind of stuff. I remember back in the day he told me his favorite candy was Nerds. Anyway, he loves all of that candy, and he can make it, like he can make a bag of like a little bag of Skittles, but I usually get him the big ones from like Walmart that are like $4, but he can make a bag last like a long time. When Alex's mom brought Sebastian over to our house, he had like a huge bag of the Sour Patch Kids. I mean, it's like a pound of candy. And then he had like a little bag, and he said something to him. He was like, now, if you behave and you watch the movie with us and whatever, he just watched some kids, we put some kids movie on for him. Oh, we put Polar Express on. This was before Christmas. I was thinking about Christmas tonight. I kind of miss the Christmas time with the lights and all that kind of stuff. It was real cozy, and I was thinking about, I don't know why I was thinking about the Allison Brooks book that I read when I was in Florida, or listened to, where it's like the haunted library. I think I might that might be the next book that I listen to after this one. I kind of miss my cozies. Oh, I should listen to the Janet Ivanovich book next, is what I should listen to, the Stephanie Plum. But anyway, I kind of miss my cozies. It's time for me to get cozy again. I've kind of read some other books, and I'm like, okay, it's time for me to get back into the cozies again. I started this Misfortune book, and I was like, I didn't realize how much I missed all of this. But anyway, Alex said to Sebastian, he was like, which one do you want? He was like, this one, the real big one. He was like, or the smaller bag. He was like, or this one. He's like, you can have whichever one you want, because you were such a good boy. You were so good. And Sebastian said he wanted the smaller bag. And Alex was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. So then it was like days later, and we saw Carlos and Liliana and the kids. I don't even remember when this was. But anyway, Sebastian still had that bag of Sour Patch Kids, and it was like, he had opened it, but it was like half full. And he was like, Tio, look. He was like, I still have my bag of candy. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I would have ate that in 5 minutes. I would have too. I cannot open my candy. Like, my husband, this drives me crazy. Well, we haven't been to a movie in forever. It makes me so sad about movie theaters. Just so sad. I don't really understand it, honestly. Why? Can somebody explain to me why movie theaters can't be open? I mean, they could. I think I said this on here not too long ago, but it's like, couldn't they keep the seats like I don't know how you would do it, like maybe 2 together and every 6 apart or something like that, 6 feet apart. Like the movie theater that we go to has those like lean out, you know, seats. It's like, I feel like each seat is like 3 feet apart. So I don't know why they can't do it. I don't know, maybe it's not affordable for them to do that. I have no idea. But anyway, when we would go to the movie theater, no, not always. Sometimes Alex would just get like a water. Like if he was like, if we were eating healthy, he would just get a bottle of water, which a bottle of water, I would always bring candy with me, stuffed in all of my pockets, because I'm that person. And then I would get like a medium drink there. But do you know, like a bottle of water, like, okay, not this size, but like the next size up. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like a large Dasani water or whatever. Do you know that's like literally like $8 at the movie theater? That is ridiculous, the prices of food at movie theaters. Okay. So, but on a good day, Alex would get a bottle of water. He usually never got a Coke at a movie theater. Sometimes maybe, but rarely ever. But he would get a popcorn, and the thing about the popcorn is we each have to get our own popcorn because I love tons of butter, movie popcorn butter in mine, and he doesn't. So, I mean, if I wanted to save money, we wouldn't, and I would just eat his popcorn with not a lot of movie butter popcorn in there. Or we would do the 2 medium popcorns, 2 medium drinks. There's like a special sometimes we would do. When we go with Melissa and Jason, it's perfect because Jason and Alex don't like a lot of butter and salt in their popcorn. Melissa and I, butter and salt it up. We love it. Actually, our favorite, Melissa and I, is that Popcornopulus, the caramel corn, so we always get that. We love it. But Alex will get, like, I'll get him some candy at the gas station that he'll carry in, like, I don't know, some kind of jelly candy or sours or something, you know? And then I always get chocolate, and I get, like, Swedish fish because they're vegetarian. And I sit there, and I hold on to my popcorn, my candy, I try not to drink my Coke or anything, even though they do refills, you know? Until the movie starts, because I want to have it for my movie, like, all the way through. And then what happens is I eat everything that I have, and I'm so full by the end of the movie. I'm like, oh my God, I hurt so bad. My husband, he eats all of his treats before the movie even starts. I'm like, what are you doing? And then he's like this to me. He's like, can I have some of those? I'm like, I saved mine. I would have bought you 5 bags if you wanted it from the gas station. He's like, just give me a couple. I'm like, you just ate all yours. You didn't even give me one. Anyway, but that's what you do when you love somebody. You give them your candy. Oh, you give them your cookies and you give them your cakes. When Alex and I were first early dating and we were trying to save money, that would be a big date night for us. We would go to Applebee's and we would do, I can't remember if we would go to Applebee's before or after, because the Applebee's was right there behind the movie, or like in the same parking lot area as the movie theater at Castleton. And we would, I feel like we went to Applebee's first. And, I don't know how we got some deal on the movies or whatever, but we would, oh no, you know what we would do? We would go to the movies before like 6 o'clock is what we would do, because we would get the early tickets. And then we would split the food at the movie theater where you could like get the deal, you know, where you get like the 2 small popcorns and then like 2 medium drinks, like, you know what I mean? We would do that deal. And then we would go to Applebee's and would do the 2 for $20. That was like the 2 for $20, I don't know if you know what it is, but at Applebee's they have 2 entrees. You each get an entree, you each get, I think, a drink, and then you get an appetizer to split. We always got the spinach artichoke dip. It's a really good deal, because their entrees are pretty large there. And I think their cheeseburgers were on their entrees, and we would always just get cheeseburgers. I haven't been to Applebee's in forever. I used to love Applebee's. Applebee's is very like Subway to me. Like I ate so much of it that I just really don't even want to eat Applebee's anymore. Actually, back in the day when I wasn't a vegetarian, I used to always get this thing. It was this chicken fajita wrap. I think it's, oh my, I'm almost positive that's exactly what it was called. The chicken. It stopped. My ex, when we would go to Seymour, where he was from, they had a chicken fajita, well, they had an Applebee's there. They only had like two major restaurants. They had this Tex-Mex kind of place. I can't remember what it was called. I loved it. And then they also had Applebee's, and I would go down there. I would go down there with him on a weekend, and we would eat with our friends that lived down there at Applebee's. And or when he lived down there for like the first year that we were together, I would go down there and stay with him on weekends, and we would go to Applebee's, and I would get the chicken fajita wrap and fries. They had seasoned fries, and the Blondie. Do you guys remember the Blondie cookie thing that they have there? It's so good. But then when Alex and I started dating, I kept on getting the chicken fajita wrap too, and then later we started getting cheeseburgers. Cracker Barrel was the other place that we went to in Seymour. Cracker Barrel, they have some of the best food in the entire world. Cracker Barrel is, I can never get anybody to go to Cracker Barrel with me. Tanya likes Cracker Barrel. Alex absolutely hates Cracker Barrel. He just like, and he's like, oh, so we can shop and eat at the same time? I'm like, yeah, exactly. So if you've never heard of Cracker Barrel, which if you haven't heard of Cracker Barrel, it probably means you're not from the United States, because I think that they're not, maybe in other parts of the world. I don't know, I'm assuming. But Cracker Barrel is literally like off of every exit on every highway. And it's very like down-home cooking. They try to make it like very like by the hearth side. There's like a big fireplace. It's very cozy, and it's very country. And it's like all like home cooking. They have like chicken and noodles and hash brown casserole, which is the bomb. Their breakfast is unbelievable. Although the girl there told me about sausage biscuits and gravy, because I love sausage. Well, I don't eat them anymore because I'm a vegetarian now, but when I did, I used to go to Bob Evans a lot. I haven't been to Bob Evans, I think, but maybe one time since I became a vegetarian. When I started on YouTube, I used to go there all the time. Do you remember that? Oh my God, I love their sauce. Well, people call it biscuits and gravy, but it is just biscuits and gravy, but I call it sausage biscuits and gravy. But anyway, I said to the girl, the last time I was there, the waitress that Tanya and I had, I said to her, I said, are your like sausage and biscuit, I called her a girl, but she was probably my age. She was real sweet. And I said, are your sausage biscuits and gravy really good? And she was like, honey, she was like, I used to work at Bob Evans. She's like, they are not any good here. They come straight out of a bag. Don't eat them here. I was like, oh my Lord, she's telling some truths on the Cracker Barrel. But anyway, I didn't get them, but I wanted to so bad. But their pancakes are the bomb. Then actually, Cracker Barrel has really, really, really good cheeseburgers. And my ex and I used to go there a lot in Seymour. And we would get salads. I always got honey mustard on my salads for years and years and years. I think now I always get like ranch on them. Oh, blue cheese. I love blue cheese dressing now on a good wedge with no bacon and the little grape tomatoes. Oh, I love that so much. I'm like a fiend for wedge salads. I'm like, and I didn't eat them forever. Like I didn't eat them until just a couple years ago. And we went to this place called District Tap. And my friend, it's like some good friends of Melissa and Jason and Alex and I. We went there with her and her husband. And another couple that were, well, Aaron and Eric, I've talked about them on here before. And she got a wedge, and she was, and I said, is that the only salad? They had like 3 salads at the time. They have a great menu now. But I was like, they have tons and tons of salads and stuff on there. But I was like, is that all you're gonna get? And she's like, yeah, it's really good. And she took the wedge and she cut it all up so it looked like a salad, you know? And I was like, oh my God, that looks so good. So I ordered a wedge. Ever since then, I've been sold on wedges. I love them. I love a good wedge salad, and I cut it all up too. I don't know how you eat a wedge. If you guys know what a wedge is, so it's like just a big wedge of iceberg lettuce usually. Isn't it iceberg lettuce? It's just a big wedge of lettuce, and then they put blue cheese dressing over it, and they put bacon bits usually, but I don't get mine with bacon. And then they, with blue cheese like chunks in there, and chunks and everything. And then they put the tomato grapes on there, which I love those tomato grapes so much. So yeah, but Cracker Barrel, we used to always get salads and cheeseburgers with bacon. And of course you have to get biscuits, and because they'd always say, do you want biscuits or do you want cornbread? And we'd say both, thank you. Both. Do you guys remember that place called Loon Lake Lodge? So my ex and I and our friend Scotty, the one that passed away, my friend that passed away last summer, we went to that Loon Lake Lodge one weekend when he was up here visiting. And I mean, yeah, we were all heavy at the time. I mean, I'm heavy now, but anyway. So Scotty was sitting there, and so when the waitress came, he was like, ma'am, ma'am. I miss Scotty so much. He was like, ma'am, could I please get some more bacon for my cheeseburger? We each looked at our cheeseburgers, and there was like a little piece of bacon on there, and we asked for bacon cheeseburgers. And this waitress looked at us, and she looked at Scotty, and she looked at that cheeseburger, and she goes, more bacon? I will never forget, Scotty turned to me and he looked at me, he goes, oh my. Scotty was, I know people think that I'm like Leslie Jordan, but he really was. He looked at me and he goes, oh my. He goes, would that be a problem? She was so bitter. She brought like one piece of bacon out on a plate. Like, she was so pissed, so we asked for more bacon. And he was like, I have never felt so fat shamed in my life. More bacon. We used to say that to each other all the time. More bacon. Oh man. Did you guys watch that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Oh my god. Whew. I forgot what it's like to have an opinion about a reality show like that and to put it in a video, because I said something the other day in one of my drama videos. I can't remember about which. I think it was about the reunion, the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion. I said something about it, and man, people had opinions about that in the comment section. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I pushed a few buttons on this one. You poked a few bears, so to speak. Got people a little upset about it. And I don't even remember what I said at the time. I was talking about Bronwyn's recovery, and that Kelly was saying that it was like fake recovery, and I don't know, I just didn't think that was very nice, you know, whatever, even if you think it's true, you know. But man, I have to tell you, okay, and I just watch it for the entertainment value, okay? So if y'all have diehard stan relationships with these people, I'm sorry, I don't. I just watch it for the entertainment value. So I'm watching Salt Lake City, right? And I'm gonna not talk about this forever, because I know that there's not everybody out there watching Salt Lake City, but I'm watching Salt Lake City tonight, right? Now, when this season started, because this is the first season of Salt Lake City, which has become my favorite of any city. Well, that's not true. I like Atlanta. I think Atlanta's the best. Do y'all like Marlo? I know people do not like Marlo. I love Marlo. She cracks me up. She is so funny. She is so, so funny. But anyway, and I was telling Alex, he's like, we were talking about like which like housewife on Orange County we think were the most like, and I said, you know, I love Emily. Emily, I think, is just she is so hot. She is so pretty. I love Emily so much. But like, I think I'm the most like Gina, kind of, in that she's kind of like misunderstood by the things that she says, and like with her personal friends. I'm talking about like with my friends, you know, like when you'll say something and, you know, and like she's just, I don't know, I like Gina. I think she's always, like, I love Gina and Emily, and I love that Emily said, I feel like I'm a lot like Emily too, when Emily was talking about Shannon, and she said, because they don't really get along that well, and she said that she was really compassionate through the time that her husband was sick. And I love that she can acknowledge that and not love somebody. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be like somebody's biggest fan, but also acknowledge their, you know, positivity and their strengths and their assets. So anyway, but I could not be in a friend group that talks about each other so much. I mean, and they all do it. It's every city does it. They all talk behind each other's backs. In fact, Atlanta is probably the least that does that. They still do it, but they don't do it like the other women do. Salt Lake City is hands down the worst. I could not believe it. Tonight watching it, when I started watching the series, or the season, I loved Jen. I thought Jen was fun. I thought she was charismatic. She has hurt each one of those people in that group, and she honestly cannot see, like, she really cannot see her part in it at all. And it's just like, it's almost kind of sad to watch. Like, they went on this most recent episode, they're in Las Vegas, and remember I used to say Las Vegas, and I couldn't hear it. I didn't even know what I was doing. But anyway, Whitney, who has really hurt Jen's feelings at this party, which, I mean, I understand, but it's like, at some point, apologies have been made, actions have been shown. It's like, you gotta move on from some of this stuff, you know? And, like, she's sitting there in this group of women, and everybody's saying they don't trust her, and she, like, still cannot see how she's hurt anybody. It's just, it's baffling to me, you know? And, next week's the season finale. I can't wait to watch the reunion of that show. I started talking about a friend of mine that reminds me of somebody on the show, and then I was like, oh, maybe not. But it's not anybody that any of you know, so it doesn't matter. But then I started it again, and it was like out of focus, and I had to turn the camera off, and I had to start the camera again. So anyway, but you guys are like, well, it was 1 second for us. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I can't wait to watch the reunion of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I think it's going to get rather heated, so. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Alex said that Whitney was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen afterwards, and that she kind of like really went off on Jen and had a bunch to say and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I was like, at that point, I had already deleted it off of my iPad. Alex said, are you going to watch it? I said, Andy Cohen's got the 411. Because you guys know that song. That's the song at the beginning of the Watch What Happens Live. Anyway. I finished Saint X last night. The battery's at half mark. It has been for a few minutes now. So when it completely starts flashing, or when it starts flashing, I'm going to have to get off here. But anyway, I should title this video. But anyway, I've said it like 1,000 times tonight. I finished Saint X last night. It was fantastic. Thinking about what I want to say. I mean, I listened to like the last 4 hours of it fast. I think I started it at 2 times speed, and then I moved it up to 3 times speed because I could totally listen to it fast, and I had no problem with it. It's a tragically sad book. Very cathartic, though, I think. And kind of like the full circle that the sister makes in the book. I was reading on my BookTube channel some comments, because I talked about it yesterday. And there were a lot of people that were like, I didn't feel like, they didn't like the ending of the book, which I totally understand. Because I wanted something from the ending. I wanted something from the ending of the book too that was not there. But as I was nearing the end of the book, you'll know what I'm talking about if you're an avid reader. But this could be of a movie too, I guess. But as I was nearing the end of the book, I knew that the author was intellectual and intelligent enough to not answer that question. Like, I knew she wasn't going to go there in the book. Because that's not how life works. And the book is realism. And it is realism in your face. And it is painful realism. And I was really, really impressed with how she did it. I thought it was... There were a lot of people that I read that said that they had a hard time getting into the book. I had a hard time getting into the book too. You know, if you had asked me in the first couple hours, I would have said, yeah, I can DNF this book. Do not finish. But like, I know this with any kind of literary fiction, most literary fiction that has any kind of value to it is not going to be a book that within the first 2 paragraphs, you're going to be like, I can't put this book down. Like, that's typically a thriller, you know? Most books that have any kind of literary value to them, you have to build it up, you have to develop the characters, you have to do all that kind of stuff. It doesn't just like happen like that. And to have, you know, an important like understanding or climax of the literature or of the story in the literature, you have to build that. It's just like there's a momentum to it, right? It doesn't just happen like that. So I knew that it wasn't going to be a book. Like when I started it, I knew that it wasn't going to be a book that like right out of the gate was just like, oh my God, I can't put this book down. But what happened was, like last night, definitely, because sometimes I like stop it and rewind it, you know, like, oh, like I want to listen to that again, or I didn't catch that. I literally listened to like the last 3 hours last night and did not stop it or rewind it once. Didn't pause it. I was so focused on what was going on, I literally could not stop listening to it. And it's really tragic story about how several people's lives were impacted by this girl's murder, whether they were involved in it or not. And it's also really about like this girl's life before she was murdered and her sister not really knowing her. And it really reminded me, honestly, kind of, Stuart Onan is one of my favorite authors. If you've never read anything by Stuart Onan, I highly, highly, highly recommend him. He is one of Stephen King's best friends, but he doesn't write like Stephen King at all. I think he's quite a bit younger than Stephen King. They wrote one short story together, and it was called The Face in the Crowd, which I actually read a couple years ago. Again, telling a story about a friend of mine that reminded me of something in the book. I like talk to you guys like I'm just talking with Tanya in the car, and sometimes I kind of forget, and I just kind of like... The thing is like, for people that don't, like, they're like, why does he always do that? The thing is, like, you know how I always talk about, like, Judy Smith? Okay, with my friends, I do that as well. Like Peter Monn is not just, like, Peter. Peter Monn is Peter Monn. I don't know why I do that. Isn't that not so funny? Tanya and I both do it. Like, I think that's why we do, like, the Walmart and the Meijer, you know? And it's like, oh, Judy Smith, like as if we know 8 Judys or something. So when I'm telling a story, I'm like, oh, me and my friend, Judy Smith, I don't have a friend named Judy Smith, by the way, but like, you know, me and my friend Judy Smith, and then I'm like, oh, like I just said Judy Smith's first and last name, okay, so I can't do that. But anyway, okay, let's just go back. So the book was good. It was very, very good. It was very dark. I would highly recommend it to anybody. I'm going to do a full review on my BookTube channel here in the next couple days. And on February 2nd, I'm going to be announcing the February book. I will be announcing it on Instagram. So, and I'm sure I'll come over here and on my drama channel and say something about it a couple days later. So you guys can find out there too if you want to, on here or on there. But if you follow my Instagram, you'll see it over there. So anyway, yeah. So now I'm back to my cozies, my cozy mysteries. Andy Cohen's got the 411. I don't know why I have that stupid song stuck in my head. Alex and I were teasing each other so bad tonight. What did I say to him? I said something to him. I don't even remember. But we got cracking up so hard at each other. We were laughing so hard. Andy Cohen's got the 411. I wonder if we're supposed to get any snow in the next week or 2 or 3 or month, or if it's just going to be this. It's now 17 degrees. If it's just going to be cold and gray and miserable, you know? Can we just have maybe some snow? I talked to my cousin Caroline today. And I was like, how are you? This is when I went to go get coffee, so this was like 5 something. And she's like, I'm good. She's like, the sun is finally out. And I said, I hate it. And she goes, you hate it? And I said, yeah. I said, I would rather have like 2 feet of snow if it's gonna be this cold and miserable outside than have the sun peeking through. And she's like, really? And I said, yeah. Oh, the battery is dying. Dang it. And she said, yeah, I think it's pretty. I said, I don't. I said, now if it was 2 feet of snow and the sun was shining on that, it was like, let's go sledding or let's go for a walk in the snow and have hot chocolate. Now that I could get behind, you know what I mean? If you're gonna have a food moment associated with the weather, now I'm down for all that. No, I'm joking. But I just feel like if you're gonna have it be so cold and everything and gray, like the snow at least would make it kind of like pretty and like winter wonderland. But like just to have this like, this gray every day, it's just like, now I have to say, you know, for a while I was getting up and I wasn't feeling motivated, I wasn't feeling inspired, I was kind of sad. I don't feel like that anymore. Like that passed, right? So maybe it was just me getting used to this weather. I don't know. But I don't feel like that anymore. I don't know what this is. I've been doing this a lot lately with my hands. I used to talk with my hands a lot. Do I still always? And I don't realize. Do I still always? Do I still now talk with my hands and I don't realize it? I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below. But be nice about it. Somebody made fun of me about one night at a meeting. This guy was like, said something about like, you need to sit on your hands. And I go, what? Like this was after a meeting. He goes, you need to sit on your hands. And I go, it was like this older guy that he and I haven't seen him actually in forever. He and I didn't get along, and then we started getting along really, really well after this. But because he kind of like, he apologized to me the week after because I didn't get it, and it kind of hurt my feelings. I think he knew. He goes, you need to sit on your hands during meetings. And I go, what? And he goes, what's all this? Talking with your hands. And I just kind of looked at him and I was like, oh, okay. And then the next week he apologized. He's like, man, that was really out of line. I shouldn't have said anything. I'm really sorry. And I was like, no, I appreciate it. You know, I didn't. He was like, no. He was like, I feel like I hurt your feelings and I'm sorry. And I said, well, I appreciate you saying something. See how simple it is? See how easy that is? Anyway, a genuine moment of taking accountability and really acknowledging that you hurt somebody's feelings. And then let's just move on. Let's just move on, you know? Anyway, it doesn't have to be that deep. So, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. I don't know what I was saying. I was saying Andy Cohen's got the 411. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here now. I can't believe that my battery's died and I'm sitting here talking about, what was I talking about? Oh, food moments with Winter Wonderland. Yeah, don't eat yellow snow. That would be my first piece of advice. And maybe if we could even just get some snow that would make travel easy, sure. Schools, we don't want them closed. Work, we want to be open. But if we could actually have some maybe snow in the trees, that would look pretty. And we could have maybe a cup of hot chocolate that would make us happy. I don't know, light a candle, you know, something like that. I think it would be real pretty, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's it. That's it. In conclusion, did you guys ever write those reports when you were growing up? That was like introduction, 3 paragraphs, and conclusion. In conclusion, the moral of the story is don't eat yellow snow. Anyway, I love you guys. Now, you know that's what I'm titling my video, don't you? Anyway, I love you guys so much. And like my friend Stephanie always says, sometimes you can just say goodnight. So I love you guys very, very much. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, you know what I realized? I did my sign out last night on my second good night. I did it wrong. I said, love you, and then I say bye, or something like that. So anyway, whatever I usually say, anyway, oh my God, it died on me. Anyway, so I'll say it really quickly like my friend Stephanie always says. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. That's what I did. Last time I said, love ya. Bye. Anyway, now I'm gonna do it appropriately. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.